Hi, Billy the Artist here, and we're back for the third in the Lego movie drawings. So we have Emmet, he was done completely freestyle, check out that video to do that one. We've got Batman, and we did him in the last video, so I hope you enjoyed doing that one. We've got a little bit of colour, this was all pencil, and there's a little bit of stop motion because he was very dark and it took a long time to kind of fill him in. I hope you had fun doing that one. Here we can see we have an interloper from another movie. Yes, it's Olaf. Now again, because Emmet was drawn completely freehand, and Batman was drawn using the grid, but it was very light in the background so you can rub it out quite easily. The Olaf video, it's very dark and you can see it. Now again, there's the photos in these videos, you can use those to copy or you can use your own to just enjoy your drawing. So anyway, we will now crack on straight away with Lucy Wyldstyle. And we've got the grid on again, so remember that we've got the centre line, we've got A, B, C, that's your centre line, D and E. These are 35mm squares, sections. The centre line is on the 4, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going down. And remember I said about to get your centre line, because it's 297 divided by 2, which is 148.5, which is a bit of a mouthful, but instead, so you can see the centre line there just to the left of 15 centimetres. So if you go just over, so you've got the same gap either side of 30 centimetres, you know half is 15, so that way you can tick that off and then do 35mm divisions with your ruler along and just sort your grid out. So that's a quick way and simple way of sorting out. But Lucy is going to be all colour, and here you can see I've got my colour pencils ready to go. So we'll just start the work and we'll get into drawing Lucy. We'll do a bit of a mix of using the grid system, putting points down, and then I'll just use shapes and we'll just freestyle her in and get her all set ready to do the colouring. So straight away we've got on the centre line, the top of her head is kind of a little bit below there, so you've got a hair coming down and that's coming down the centre line, so there's a point there. Her left eye is going to be on the centre line, so you've got a circle that you can just drop in. Just on the 2 you've got her quirky little smile that's coming down with the lips. And the thing with using the grid is you don't have to put a lot in because the grid is your point of reference system. So you know, you've got a nice kind of elliptical shape for Lucy's lips. Now I'm drawing this quite lightly because, as you saw in the Batman at the end, because I used an 8B pencil which is very soft, it can affect your colouring in quite a lot, and the pencil can affect the colouring. And you can draw a pencil line and then you can use instead a felt tip pen if you want to actually fill in everything. So there's Lucy's neck kind of coming down and her chin, out her eye. Now we'll just draw her eye and her eyebrow loosely so that you can see it. And the hair comes inside. If you think of a hair as a bit of a giant shape, just a big round shape, and you've got the swoop coming down of a fringe, so her other eye is going to be pretty much in the middle of the B square, down a third. But that swoop is going to come down right the way over to this side, and the top of her hair goes up and down. And this is the thing with using a grid, you can actually see, so where the B joins with the number 1, you know that her hair is going to go through a little bit there, and you can push it around a bit and accentuate it, and a ponytail flicks up in the C square into the D. Remember, you can just put little marks down, you can do your own little dot to dot. But you can freestyle draw using a grid as well. Just keep looking at your reference photo that you've got gridded up. Remember, these are 35mm squares on an A4 piece of paper. And then you can use the shapes in the how to draw shapes video, the absolute basics. And that'll help you to get everything down rather quickly. So Lucy's shapes, here they're all just squares rectangles, ellipses or circles that you can build everything with. So Lucy's body, you've got a right shoulder just to the right of her eye, so you've got that reference point there. You can come down and draw that down, and that's coming down just above the 5, so there's your 5 line. And so you've got a reference point there, you've got another one there for the back of the block, and then that's going to come right the way across over past the D line, and then so that goes up there, and then you can draw lightly, and then you can put a hood in afterwards rather quickly. But again, Lucy's got all the graphics on, so here you can see I'm just using the shapes and drawing it in very, very quickly. The point of the back of her shoulder is going to come down and join the back there. The top of her right arm, remember you've got a couple of cylinders. There's one going down to the elbow and then down to the wrist. Is there, and then you've got another little cylinder which is really is a little wrist joint from a forearm down to a wrist, and then you've got another cylinder for a hand which has got a gap at the end, so don't fill it in completely, but you can put that gap in and you've got a hand straight away. So this is great, so you can get the DVD or the Blu-ray and you can draw away merrily. You can freeze a frame if you want and just try using shapes to draw. So here we've got a kind of waistband, the front of a leg. Remember that right the way across the top of a leg, so it's to the right of the D line, is just a cylinder. So you can just imagine it, a giant cylinder coming right the way across. That makes things very, very simple. And then if you've done the cylinder, you can just erase out at the back very quickly and concentrate and build up your line. So the front of the left leg comes down just to the right of the D line. That goes out a little bit more. And then a left arm. And you can see that her wrist just crosses over the 3 but stays within the D to E box. So if you then draw her elbow down, that helps. And then you've got her hand again, that goes right the way up. And they're just lovely curved shapes that you can, if you do practice drawing ellipses, just constantly drawing ellipses, just circles, and use the flex of your wrist, you'll soon get to grips with a lot of these shapes that you're using to draw a Lego character such as Lucy Wyldstyle from the Lego movie. And you can just have fun building all of this lot up very, very quickly by using a mixture of the grid system. Let's put the blue flash down. She's got this rather funky tinted hair, hasn't she? So there's the blue flash that comes down, and the purple one just above it. And I say we'll colour those in a moment, and we'll just darken the lines down. She's got some little freckles, so there's 1, 2, 3. Let's bring the hair down a little bit more, and a hoodie goes right over the back, and freckles on this side. So we need to build that eye up a little bit. And she's got 4 freckles on this side. Again, the shape of her hair goes up. Sometimes it's nice when you're just drawing, just talk yourself through your own drawing. You know, you don't have to just listen to me waffling away merrily. So here we have this box shape coming down and joining, just a little bit of a curve underneath, and then on the front you've got the grey panel on both sides. That's the lighter grey that's going to be coloured in. And then you've got the zip coming down from underneath the hood just to the right of the C line. So just draw 2 lines down, and then the zip, if you just do a zigzag really quickly, that'll give you really the essence of the zip going down to the waist part of the front of Lucy. Now, graphics are interesting, and this is the good thing with having the grid system. So you go along 4 and you've got the purple flash kind of going in. And again, just putting all of this lot in really lightly. And the grid system helps you with reference points. So putting these in, so you've got the blue on top and the purple's like a little drop shadow. So here you've got a little triangle with a triangle inside it, and you know that the purple's going to go down the outside, and then you've got the line of the waistband block going round over the top of her hips, and the graphics continue down, so you've got the blue, and that's right on the centre line on the C line. So you got that there, and then there's another little triangle, and it just helps you in putting in all of the graphics. There's what looks like a number 4 there, so think about that. And then you got the W for the Wyldstyle, and it goes above the 3 line. So using shapes, you can put this in rather neatly and quickly, and you've got Lucy coming together very nicely. But the grid system that you can rub out if you put little light lines in will allow you to put them in very, very accurately. So you can see there on her arm, just down the B line underneath the 3 is where you can do a diagonal line for that purple flash that starts, and then the diagonal comes right the way down to just above the 4. So you've got the 4 here that comes all the way up her arm. I say it looks like a nice number 4 there, and you can colour this in a bit, and there you've got the purple line that goes through, and it gives you really nice simple reference points to draw in, and it makes drawing enjoyable. And the more drawing that you do, you can, as we did with Emmet, you can just draw straight on the paper because you'll put a shape in and you'll start using those shapes as your reference points. But the grid's great because it makes it really quick and fun and enjoyable, and it puts you in with some of the old master artists like John Constable. Again, you'll see some of the earlier videos, you'll see one of his sketches that he then enlarged into a massive painting. And so old master artists used to use this technique. So you're putting yourself in some wonderful places where if you go to a art gallery in a capital city or your own local art gallery and they've got some old master paintings in there, then this technique that we're using here to draw Lucy, and we've done it to draw Batman and Olaf, is what a lot of those guys actually used to do their drawings and paintings, because it works and it helps you actually get a really good drawing down. So here I'm looking and I can see that the line, and again you can see lots of box shapes, the front of Lucy's foot goes straight to the centre line, and the front of a toe comes down, and then you just got a little wiggle for the shape, so we'll just indicate where the colour's going to go. And then a leg comes up, and this leg comes up. So you've got the centre line for a right leg and a left leg on the cylinder on the front. We can start with confidence drawing down some slightly darker lines now. And you see, she's really coming together nicely. So if we put in her right foot, we can see that kind of runs. There's a kind of line over the front of the toes of the right foot, sorry, and the left foot on the right of the drawing comes across. You can get it all to work together and connect. Lovely. And that's the beauty of drawing and painting. You get to do something. If you've got reference, because I can remember when I first started drawing as a 7-year-old, I put a little cartoon panel of like the Beano and the Dandy. I'm in England, you know, and I could sit there with that next to my blank piece of paper, and because it was in a panel I could draw a square, and this is how it naturally worked out to put a picture together. And that's what I did. And because you can do that on your own, you can sit down with a cartoon or a comic character that you love and like with that original drawing next to you. You can then fill that in and do it really well very quickly. So here I'm now going over it, and we're just going to draw in some darker lines very quickly of Lucy, so that you got a hoodie, and then we'll go to the colouring in. Again, we'll go into a time lapse for that, but using cartoons and comics and things like, you know, pictures of Batman or Emmet or Lucy from the, you know, movie that you like, or Olaf from Frozen. Yeah, there's so many images out there that you can practice drawing at home and really enjoy it. Really develop your technique and your skills. And then as you get older, you can carry a sketchbook around with you. You know, I showed you some of my sketchbooks in the early videos, the basics videos, and just make little notes and thumbnails, and you can just enjoy drawing, and then you can enjoy painting, colouring in, and it's just great. And you can see it just comes together really, really quickly. So we'll now detail up Lucy's eye. That's underneath the flash, and she's got her eyebrow over, eyelash and eyebrow over the top, and then this one, there's a big eyelash coming off, and you've got the shape, and it's just a nice circle shape, and the big white for the highlight on her pupil. Darken that over the top, and then her eyebrow over the top. It's a nice thick black line. Now I've done this quite dark here, and again, when I put the colour on, it may just smudge the pencil, but if you use felt tip pen when you darken your line down, it might not smudge the pencil quite as much. So there's a cute smile, and just darken her arm down. So there you can see quite quickly that Lucy has come together using the grid system and using shapes very, very quickly. And we're going to colour in, but we'll go to time lapse because that'll take quite a while. But I've already chosen my pencil crayons and the colours that we need to actually colour Lucy in. So you'll see that just come together. But coloured pencil crayons are just the same as pencil, depending how hard you press on, depends what tone you get. But if you choose your colour to match the person and the item that you're drawing, then your drawing will come together a lot quicker and your colour will come in really nicely. So that's the outline down, and we're going to switch over to time-lapse and we'll get the pencil drawing coloured in, and you can see Lucy finished in a bit. Okay, so now we're just coming out of the time lapse, and what we've got to do is put the floor underneath Lucy. So again, just don't press on so hard with your black crayon, pencil crayon, and you can put the shadow that goes around Lucy. So as you can see, I just use the pencil crayons all through that time-lapse section, just as I would a pencil, and the harder you press on, the darker colour you get, and you can sharpen it, get a nice sharp point, and it will give you some delineation where you want it, and it's just good fun. I say these pencil crayons that I've got are Caran d'Ache Supracolor Aquarelle, which means you can also wet it. This little symbol here means you can also dip it and wet it and then actually use it as paint. It's water soluble pencil crayons, but it doesn't matter whether you're using wax crayons or any old pencil crayons, just have fun, or felt tips. And here you can see how incredible it is to just do a drawing using pencil crayons. Again, using the grid method to lay out makes things very, very simple, and you can just plot and then start using shapes. And here we've got Lucy Wyldstyle from the Lego Movie down. And do remember that Lucy has also got friends with Emmet and Batman, so we went from total freehand with just pencil to using the grid and then using shapes with a little bit of colour, to then a full colour, full pencil crayon drawing. So just enjoy your drawing. If you've enjoyed this, do like and subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more new work, new how-to videos coming out, and you'll see more of my art. And you can view my art at www.billyart.co.uk. Do please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Ta-da.